I think Fabrice may have said too much.
And too much of the wrong thing, I might add.
Well, is it the wrong thing or is it because he is a fashion designer? Maybe that's his vibe.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the show is being shot in Miami, not in Paris, but in these continental United States.
But at the same time, Marcia wears a top that is revealing, showing the goods her mama give her. And when he makes a comment about them, she feels bashful. When she was putting that on, when she looked at herself in the mirror and she put everything up that will pull them up, lift them, and have them start speaking in tongues, she knew she wanted attention and she got it. So, what was the problem?
Well, the problem started off with what she chose to wear, but the problem ended up with what he did.
I know in this Me Too, you gotta be careful, but women can get a little carried away with sending mixed messages to men.
Do it all the
So,
time. Anyway, we'll get into it.
have I ever give you mixed signals?
No question about it. Think she made y'all? Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about OWN Network's reality-based TV series, Ready to Love Season 7, Episode number 3.
And before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe.
Stop me when I'm lying.
Please send your comments. Why you want to sell all my tapes?
I ain't selling all your tapes. I'm just telling the truth.
Please send us your comments and please hit that notification so you know when we upload new stuff.
Yeah, Tommy convenes the
Ladies at
in the church. I guess that's the meeting spot for this season, huh?
Yes. Somebody thought that was a good idea, but that's all I'm going to say about that. He meets with the group and tells them that they have to be vulnerable. They should reveal something about themselves that they would not necessarily reveal to a man they're dating for the first time. Mercedes and Suan had a date with Mark Anthony and Blake. And evidently they went to some workout spot where they were doing Kinko, cargo,
Lagoon,
whatever it was. But they were on.
Hey Fred, I don't know what the name of it was, so I'm not
They
gonna.
were just bouncing from side to side, and it looks like a good workout.
Yeah, calves and stuff, but Blake wasn't really feeling it, was he?
No.
He was complaining in his confessional, like, man, come on, man, just try to have some fun for a change, man.
But at one point, Mercedes started talking to Mark Anthony, and Suan started talking with Blake.
Yeah, that's because Mercedes said Blake was off-putting.
She didn't want no part of that.
Well,
And
that doesn't necessarily include Suan, right?
he gave her a nickname, Susu. I have no idea why Suan thought Blake calling her Susu
Was doing something.
and she was giddy about that nonsense.
Yeah, she was doing a lot of reacting to nothing.
He got some weak game, and I'm surprised that she was giddy over that. The thing had no seasoning. It had some raisins in the potato salad. I have no idea why she was so, turned up by the lines he was laying down for her.
That's because he was corny and awkward. Maybe, just maybe. But the bottom line from my vantage point as a viewer was this. That was just like
Ay.
hard viewing from my end. Hard.
Mercedes met with Mark Anthony. The last time she was in a relationship was a year ago, and there was some infidelity involved that produced a child, and she was really now, trying to get in with someone who was respectful and decent to her. And Mark Anthony started eyeballing her hard, and she was liking what he was putting down because Mark Anthony's a good-looking brother.
Yeah, and it's obvious that she thinks so.
Yeah,
and she didn't make.
She was all the way in. She liked what he had to say, and she wanted to get close.
She didn't make any bones about that to him.
No.
She made it very clear. She made it plain to her brother. Blake said something during his conversation with Sue Ann that I thought was kind of interesting. He said that he didn't feel like he was managing the process very well.
Mm-hmm.
And, as a viewer, I happen to agree with him. He's not. I think that his arrogant representative who's shown up in place of him has not gotten off on the right foot with too many of these women.
Cynthia and Andre, they got together at a painting spot. Painting helps her relax and to think clearly, and she wanted to find out what he was about.
Dre said he was looking for compatibility.
That was important to him.
Right, and that kind of made Cynthia smile a little bit. She was blushing a little bit.
Because she said that she sometimes come off as hard because she got to do what she got to do to make stuff work. She does have two babies at the house, and she may come across hard, but inside she is a soft woman.
Yeah, and she seems to want whoever deals with her to be able to have the ability to push by those barriers that she puts up initially, and push through to see the real person that she is. And apparently something in her past triggered her because she began kind of like crying, I guess, as she, I believe, kind of recalled some past situations that she may not have felt comfortably in, comfortably revealing to somebody initially to do that. And I think Dre was kind of maybe caught off a little guard by it, but at the same time, I think he responded very well to it.
Well, I would think there are quite a few women out there who have to create this hard exterior just to be able to survive and just to be able to recover from the hurt feelings and bad relationships they have fallen into, including myself. There's a wall up, and she wants the security of a man caring for her and taking care of her and being able to trust him with who she is.
Right, but the problem with erecting walls is that not only does it prevent people from getting in, it also prevents you from getting out.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got past my walls.
You're right, but I'm just saying, not everybody in the way of guys get to know something about a woman that they may be interested in or necessarily up for that.
Andre said that he appreciated her being vulnerable, and as a result, he felt a deeper connection with her.
He handled that instance very well, I thought.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Then Corvaya invited Fabrice on a bike riding kind of date, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah. I think we had different opinions on this date. The first thing out of her mouth, based on what we were shown, asking him about his job situation, i.e. money. At 27, he sold his first business, and that lit her up.
Apparently she was very happy.
She commented on that, saying that that's one thing she wanted a man in a man, that he was able to sell his business. And for someone who has a business and has sold a business and is now looking for a significant other, someone to share his life, that's not gonna hit right for him. I think that's why he got out of the bag and told her that she wasn't revealing, or basically she was fake. She didn't
offensive.
Like that.
She thought she was offended by that. But correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Nephew Tommy instruct the ladies to reveal themselves?
Right.
And something, that they would not necessarily ordinarily tell somebody up front, but take this opportunity to get to know the guys and to do that and be vulnerable with them?
Yeah. But last week, Mark Anthony commented that she had gold digger vibes because she was asking him whether he's going to spoil her. And here she is asking Fabrice about his businesses. Now, if she comes across as an independent woman, could do her own stuff and what have you, why is she in this initial stage pressing the point of finances? Just like you said, a brother may not have the skill set to overcome walls. Brothers now
or the willingness or the
willingness
or the
to
interest,
do it. Yeah. Brothers now are checking for a woman's conversation as it relates to finance, because When you just meet a man, that's the last thing you should be asking him about. The man is going to check what you're saying to him, whether you're a gold digger or not. If you are a gold digger and he got some coins, he is going to string your ass along. That's what they do. I mean, we see it all day long. News about someone upset. They have babies thinking that they're going to be covered, and then the person leaves them. Gold digger tendencies. There are women out there who goes to the club and they have a suitcase in their trunk based on who they meet at the club. Gold digger tendencies. And as I said, and as I've always said, you can get the bag yourself.
I would agree with you, but there are a lot of women that don't think that way.
Texting the man about his finances? No.
Maybe she missed that memo in that class on dating.
I just think when women do that, brothers drag them. Colvert didn't leave a good impression with Fabrice, and he made sure he told her about herself.
There's also such a thing as exercising some tact.
He doesn't have it.
Yeah, you're right.
He
And
doesn't.
You're
That's why
absolutely
he's
right.
able to talk about sex so freely, because he doesn't have it at all.
But like I said earlier, he's not in Paris. He's in the United States, and he's got to make the adjustment based on that, because women don't necessarily respond to people who do that the same way that they may do in France. So I'm not necessarily mad at Fabrice for thinking that he has to do that, but I'm just saying, again,
He should have used
there's a
some
way-
sort of sophistication.
exactly. There's a way to go about doing that doesn't make somebody uncomfortable. One, two, reflects well on you, and three, sends, I guess, a message. That hey, there's something about me that at least is respectful.
Right.
To another person.
And that could be off-putting. That kind of conversation could be off-putting, and a woman could feel unsafe with that happening.
Right. A group date.
A group date. Marcia, Morgan, Lyndon, and
Tony.
And the ladies look great. I mean, they really look beautiful in what they had going on.
The fellas look sharp too.
Right.
Tony was swole with his cut, and Lyndon was, doing the Jamaican thing. Morgan took the opportunity when she got one-on-one with Tony to reveal something about herself that she had never been in love before, right?
Yes.
That was kind of surprising for me.
That was surprising to me. In fact, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I wonder if Tony was really caught off guard with that. I don't think.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah, I don't think he really expected her to say that.
Right.
I really don't. But yeah, I would think that somebody who had been out there for a minute may have had at least one opportunity to experience that, but I could be wrong.
Tony went into the relationship with God kind of situation.
And how that's important to
and
him.
how that's important
and
to
that's
him.
what he's checking for, and I
Right.
think it's a good thing to.
But
to
she
be.
said again that she's cautious around Tony because Tony does exhibit some sort of player vibe.
I'm just basing on what I've seen him do so far. I think he's smooth, but I think he's pretty deliberate.
I just think the ladies have to keep one eye on Tony.
And speaking of eye on a brother, Marcia talked to Lyndon, right?
Yeah.
And Lyndon, I guess, kind of false started, shall we say?
Well, Lyndon was feeling comfortable. He got a little
Too
close,
comfortable.
and he wanted to go in for a little
Some lip lock.
some tongue action, but he was denied.
Brother, you misread that one.
And he looked embarrassed.
Yeah.
But she tried to smooth it over, but the damage was done. I don't think he's coming back for that kind of conversation with her anymore.
Well, I think he kind of presumed that it was, accurate for what he was reading for him to make that move, but it wasn't. It was not a good idea for him to do that because he was wrong about what he was reading from in the way of signals from Marcia.
Well, if a brother makes that kind of mistake and the woman puts him down, do you think he will be willing to try that with her again?
He'll be a lot more cautious, if at all, if at all.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's that means that he needs to work on his game in terms of reading correctly and accurately the scenario. You know,
Yeah,
with whoever's right there in front of him.
yeah.
To me, it didn't seem like she had any chemistry
With
with Lyndon.
Lyndon, no.
But on the other hand, my man Tony, he had chemistry with Morgan.
Yeah, they were hugging, and at the end of it, when she
Smiling at
revealed
each
that,
other.
I would be cautious about a woman who has not given herself up to love. I, I, I just will be cautious of that.
Do you think she kind of gives off a little bit of pretty girl vibe?
No, I don't get that from her at all.
Jeffrey wants to hook up with Demario.
Jeffrey took DeMario's back, right?
He's a city guy and she's a country girl. And he did something that he ain't never been horseback riding, I guess. Because he was kind of worried in his confessional.
Well, he was complaining that his personality is not suited to horseback, right?
So what? Be open, bruh. I mean,
Well, that's
and
the
not
whole
only that,
point.
and not only that too, but the sisters were planning the dates, man. So you got to be open and comfortable with whatever they might throw at you, man. Yeah, and they got a chance to talk about, when they were spraying the horses off and all that, kind of cooling them down a little bit after their ride. About how, she's kind of looking forward to somebody who's okay with, her having kids.
Well,
Because
she asked him why is he trying to date someone like her who has 3 kids. And did his response sound convincing to you?
Well, it was honest, but I don't know necessarily whether it was convincing or not.
What about his response was honest for you?
He seemed, I mean, I took him at his word when he said that that would be something that he would be willing to consider. Now, did I misread that or what?
No. Okay.
I mean, I just took him at his word. I'm not saying that I don't believe him. I just that kind of remains to be seen.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. And then Janique, she hooked up with Lyndon.
She hooked up with Lyndon. She brings
She
a,
damn sure don't dress like one
she,
from
she
my
brings
end.
a different vibe altogether.
Yeah, I am not a fan of how Janique, her representative, shows up, visually in terms of the choices that she makes regarding her dress. I just don't like it at all.
Well, I could get it. It's fashionable. You saw a
You
couple of
think
the
so?
little women wearing it.
You think so? You think it's fashionable? I don't.
Well,
But my sense of style is different.
it empowers them to be able to wear what they want to wear. And in her, she wants to wear those tight
Revealing,
jumpsuits.
that are revealing
That
and
are
show their
re-
groceries and all of that, right? The
Right.
The problem with that is that it sends, from my end, is that it sends the wrong message to guys about what may be important to her. I don't think that, and especially since she's a business owner, I would think that she would not want to emphasize, necessarily too much of what her physical, attributes are, and just deal more, you know, initially with a brother and his intellect and what they can, kind of figure out, is an attraction that way rather
Well,
than rather than the visuals. I just don't like her her representative showing up like that. I just don't.
Well, you
I
gotta
don't.
know. You gotta know now. Women feeling empowered, regardless of size, to wear what they want to wear, rather than being told what they can
Right,
wear
but that could be a
or what was available to them to wear.
but
Now they
that
can wear just about anything. People are thinking about their size and how they want to show up in the world.
no question about it. They have the
I
right to do
just,
that, but
I
that
just,
can
I
be a
just,
double edged sword. Is
I
what I'm
just
saying.
personally think that there are a whole lot other more attractive things that she could put on and just as sexy without us continuously seeing her in that one note, that body type jumpsuit.
I just think that it doesn't I think it sends initially the wrong signal.
To the dudes.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
what is that signal?
Focus on my chest and my behind rather than who I can possibly be and my my conversational skills and all that.
And
You
you
know,
think
guys are visually
you think
oriented.
that's getting in the way of her meeting someone?
I think it has the potential, and not only do I think it has the potential, I think that she has, clearly become comfortable at, representing herself that way in an initial setting with people that she doesn't know anything about or has never met before. She did that when she was first introduced to the group, and
Right.
I didn't think that was an appropriate.
But Cynthia came in with something just as sexy and what have you. But you're not talking about Cynthia, though.
No, because
You're
I don't
talking
think
about Janice because Janice has curves.
no because she's done it more than once. Not
You're not complaining that stuff is out the package.
No, what I'm saying to you is this, okay? All right, let's go back to what Fabrice did, okay? Marcia showed her package, and then Fabrice did what? Or Fabrice did what?
He looked at it.
Right, exactly. Let there be some intrigue. You don't have to show all your goodies and all what you have, especially initially. The ladies reconvening at the church for the, I guess, report back to nephew Tommy about how the dates went for the week.
Vea indicated that she believes Lyndon is a player. Janique said she wasn't feeling Fabrice, neither was Kavea or Marcia. Or Morgan said she wasn't feeling Blake. Jeffrey said Blake, and she was under the impression that Blake felt he had found the one, which was her, and she talked about having conversations with him, and as a result, she felt like he was controlling, and she wanted everyone to know that. She sold all his tapes and put him in a bad spot. It seems like he's trying to tie her down, and she's not ready to be tied down.
That's way too early in the process.
Way too. He fault started like your boy Lyndon.
Sometimes when you're, or seemingly or apparently self-absorbed, you don't really, perceive things that way.
Well,
about
I
yourself.
guess he focused on her because all the other women seemed like they wanted kids, and she already has three. Of course, who was on the chopping block?
Fabrice.
And
And
Blake.
Yeah, your boy.
Fabrice went out with Marcia, and Blake went out with what's the chick's name?
Suan.
Suan. And of course, Marcia showed up with that revealing top. Fabrice met her, and he appreciated what she was
Working with.
and he told her so, and she felt self-conscious. I don't know why we women tend to play games with ourselves.
And with us.
Yeah, I would admit that. When you're getting dressed, you know exactly what kind of response you want to get from the opposite sex. So nothing we put on our back is just
Happenstance.
no. We got a game. We got our intentions going on in our mind. We may not want to say it, but let's tell the truth.
And shame the devil.
That's what we do it.
Absolutely. Come on with the truth. Preach.
So I'm not sure why she all of a sudden became bashful. Because I'm not getting it.
So, Fabrice was a, shall we say, willing audience?
I don't
Attentive
know.
audience.
I don't know. But anyway, they cut Fabrice loose because of all the sex talk. That was the end of it. More to come next week. There's some pile-ups gonna be happening with the men. If someone's suggesting you call a friend, you could tell they're sailing on a very hot day. So all bets are off. Anyway, that's all we have. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. We appreciate you. Please send your comments. Please hit that notification button. And we shall see you next week.
God willing. Absolutely.
God willing.